Hi class, welcome to week 2. On your writing sample activity, it is very important that you go back into the assignment to make sure you can view my comments. If you have any problems viewing the comments, go to the Student Moodle Resources page and watch the video under 4.4. There is a great how-to video linked there to help you out. I make comments on your papers in several different ways. You should see comments on your paper that you can hover your mouse over and view, and you should see a text comment on the right-hand side. Then down at the bottom right, you'll see some toggle buttons. One of them will look like a grid. Click on it and you'll be able to see the rubric and how you scored on that as well. It is very, very important that you go into each paper after I've commented on your draft and look at the comments I made on it. I make them not only to tell you how to succeed on the paper that I'm currently looking at, but to also teach you how to succeed on the other papers down the road. Be sure to view your comments on the drafts and on the final papers. On the evaluation draft, I won't be making comments because you're taking those to the online tutor this weekend as part of your journal assignment, but on every other paper in this class, I'll be making comments on your drafts and final essays. Now let's look on into week 2. For your assignments for week 2, the first thing you'll see this week is that we have an Adobe meeting on Tuesday at 11:30 p.m. It is very important that you attend our meeting because I'll take the rhetorical analysis information that we're working on this week and help break it down and simplify it for you and answer any questions that you might have. To prepare for that meeting, go ahead and do your readings for week 2. As you read through those, write down any questions you have about the material that I can answer for you when we meet. If you have a question about it, chances are that another student does too. Also on Tuesday night, you have a forum post due and your final evaluation essay due. I would not suggest leaving your essay revisions until Tuesday night after the meeting because the meeting lasts anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour depending on the questions you have. I would give yourself plenty of time to revise your evaluation essay after your online tutoring session so you're not writing up against the deadline. Like I mentioned in the previous video, aim to turn your paper in at 11:30 so you don't accidentally miss the 11:59 cutoff time. Also on this evaluation essay, instead of turning it in on 2.1, you're going to go back to this original link on 1.7 and turn it in there. So when you first click on this evaluation essay link, you should have chosen draft. Now you're going to come back here and you're going to choose final essay. Then you have a form here where you summarize this essay. If you've forgotten how to write a summary, I have a link here reminding you how to do it. Even if you just took Comp 1, go ahead and review the content there to remind yourself what a summary includes, because I do grade your summary according to the criteria on that link. Next, we'll be practicing some rhetorical analysis with JFK's inaugural address and Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech on this Google Doc. JFK's speech you'll do by yourself, and Martin Luther King's speech we'll work on as a whole class. On the Martin Luther King speech, after you finish the assignment, go back into it on Friday or Saturday after I've had time to grade it, and look back at the comments I make to you and your classmates. I'm going to make a comment on everything you did in the Google Doc. This is so that you can see what you're doing well and what your fellow classmates did well, and where you need to look at something and dig a little bit deeper. So my comments might say, "Great job, that's exactly what I'm looking for," or I might say something like, "Hey, have you thought about this?" Or "That's a good start, but what about this?" So make sure you go back and look at that Google Doc. Since we're using these two speeches as practice in this class, you cannot use them as your final speech for your rhetorical analysis essay. That's very important to keep in mind. If you show up with a rough draft on JFK's inaugural address or Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, I'm going to tell you to redo it. So do not use these as part of your essay for your rhetorical analysis paper. They are just practice for us as a class. This week, we're also going to move into practicing some visual rhetorical analysis. So there's some information on it for you here, and then you have an activity here where you guys are going to test each other. On the Form 2.7 on Thursday, you're going to post a rhetorical analysis ad and email me your analysis of it. Then by Saturday night, your fellow students are going to comment on the ads using the rhetorical analysis strategies they're learning this week. Finally, on Sunday sometime, you're going to reply to them like a teacher making comments. For example, you might say, "Great job, that's exactly it. That's ethos because of this, and that's what I got out of it. Have you thought about these ideas on pathos and logos as well?" Or you might say, "The audience is spot on. Did you think about this too?" You're going to make similar comments to the ones I make on the Google Doc for Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Finally, as always, your Week 2 journal will be due on Sunday night. As you work through this week, I also have some additional resources. I have a sample rhetorical analysis here, and then an essay with some comments on it here. I know this seems like a lot, but you guys are capable of doing it. It all builds on each other as you go throughout this week. If you don't understand rhetorical analysis at first, don't worry. I hope to clear up any of your questions and confusion on Tuesday night when we meet in our close Adobe Connect meeting, so try hard to be there Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. I look forward to meeting with you guys this week in our Adobe meeting. Please let me know if you have any questions as you finish up your evaluation essay and move on to the rhetorical analysis. Have a great weekend.